Good morning, everybody. This is day 3 of the Small Business Survival Guide. Today, we're talking all about infrastructure. This is the behind the scenes stuff that's going to keep your business okay during this financial crisis. I want you to look me in the eyes right now, and I want you to hear what I'm saying. You're going to be okay. You are going to survive this, and you're going to come out the end fine. Listen, your business might look different. Your life might look different. Your day-to-day might be different, but you are going to be okay and you are going to survive this. We are writing history right now, and your opportunity is to step in and write your history. Whatever happened yesterday, it's obsolete. It's gone. It's different. Today is a new day. Our world is changing hour by hour, minute by minute, and this is your opportunity to step in and rewrite what your future is going to look like. You are going to be okay. Today, I'm going to go ahead and bring in Laura Tolhack from Essential HR. She is an absolute rock star when it comes to running the infrastructure of your business and the human resource side. All those things that as small business owners, especially if we're sole proprietor, we tend not to think about. But at times like this, now's the time when we need to be thinking about this and be both proactive and reactive. Laura, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Tell us a little bit about you before we get into the nitty-gritty.
All right. So I am an HR consultant. I come from 15 years of HR background in, I would call it high decision, quick decision making environments. So retail, restaurants, hospitality, as well as manufacturing. So where things happen quickly and we make decisions quickly and we are always trying to make the right ones. And so this is, unfortunately, right in line with what we've been doing for the last 15 years. So myself and I have a rockstar team member who's just come on board as a supplementary HR consultant. We've been trying to manage this as much as possible for our clients, but also get some resources into the hands of individuals who don't have that person to lean on right now either.
Right. Awesome. Well, Laura's from Essential HR, and if you're not following her, you should. She's on both Instagram and Facebook. She's got a great information that's going out, super content, and definitely she's someone you should be speaking with. So let's talk about this whole idea of our business is evolving and changing. It is. Like, I don't know about you, Laura, but my business doesn't look the same today as it did yesterday. I am pivoting like crazy, and I'm pivoting on a day-to-day basis. What are some of those things that we as a small business owner can be doing to be protecting our business?
Okay. So first, when people's and your stress is to the max right now, and you don't know which way to look or which way to turn or what to do next, know that there is no playbook. We don't have a set of rules or a set of guidelines pre-set out that what we are to do in situations like this. There is no playbook. When you are making the decisions for your business with the best interests of your business and your people in your heart, that is the best you can do. And you can do additional steps as they come up, but know that what you are doing is the best for you, your people, and your business. So take that pressure off, because you are not the only one feeling this way. From the CEOs of Walmart and Superstore to the sole proprietor working in their living room, we are all trying to do what's best, given there's no playbook.
I agree. I love that.
So the first thing I was going to say is, people wonder, especially if you have a brick and mortar or you are customer facing or you have an organization where you cannot work from home. It is fantastic if all your employees can work from home. They can self-isolate. There's a lot less pressure from that standpoint. But the brick and mortars, it's a different situation. It's a different feeling. And there's a lot of social pressures as well right now. While you're trying to navigate, do I continue operating? Must I continue operating, and how to go on with this? So a lot of the information I'll give you is about the brick and mortars, or those people who have to continue operations or who have the capacity to continue operations in a low risk environment. So if you have customer facing employees, or if you're customer facing, know that you cannot be held responsible if someone on your team contracts COVID-19. If you are doing the best to your abilities, you personally cannot be sued. You cannot be held responsible. There may be a chance that it could fall under WSIB, but at the same time, it's not going to be a personal liability. That is if you are protecting your employees to the best case possible. So doing what's best, taking all reasonable precautions. And that's from a health and safety side of you. So obviously working from home is a great choice, but not everybody can do it. So there are new laws coming out every day. I think Prime Minister Trudeau is coming out at 11:30 with some more information. They are trying to figure out what to do in the case of our small businesses, our employees, and we just have to stay up to date with that. What was said yesterday might not be in effect today. What I might say today might change in 2 hours.
Yeah,
so we can only go. So when you're looking at information online, make sure you're looking at the date.
Yeah.
Because what happened 2 days ago is not the same as what happened today. 2 days ago, if someone wasn't going to come into your business because of childcare issues, you could technically fire them. Now you cannot.
Right.
So let's keep up to date with the information. So the one thing that you need to know is that there are no doctor's notes required for any absences right now. So you cannot ask for a doctor's note if you have an employee who is sick and wishes to return to the workplace. And that's tough, but we also understand we're not trying to bog down the system right now. You also can't ask for a doctor's note if someone's not coming in and you think it's for reasons that are not valid. Either way, this is a time that we do not bog down the medical system with doctor's notes. So if somebody has a cold or a flu, and it's not COVID-19, and they want to return to the workplace, here's my best advice. So they are going to call public health, and then they're going to run their symptoms by public health. And if public health says self-quarantine, they self-quarantine. If public health says that's not it, you're good to go, then best case scenario, you go symptom-free. Wait till they are symptom-free, not because they're going to transmit anything in the workplace, but because the stress level of a person who has the sniffles working 20 feet away from you elevates your other employees' stress so high that it's not worth having them there for the extra day it would take to have them recover at home.
I love that.
So that is my advice for individuals who have cold or flu. That is not COVID-19.
Yeah.
So when it comes to protecting your employees, if they do have it, this is really, really important. An individual's medical history or current medical status is private. So if you have somebody who has a strep throat and they're off work because of strep throat and your employees are very concerned as to whether they have whether they have a cold or whether they have COVID-19, and they're asking you, how's Janie? How's Janie? What's she have? Are we all... The information is, we take our cues from public health. We will absolutely give any information that we are required to give at public health. And you can go to Janie and say, hey, Janie, we're hoping you're okay. You told me you had strep throat. Do you mind if I let people know that that's what it is so they can all be less concerned for you and for the workplace as well? But we take our cues from public health. We cannot go say, oh, Janie got COVID. That, unfortunately, is private information. Now, public health says you need to tell somebody that somebody in your workplace was diagnosed, and these are the precautions you need to take given to you by the medical team. Absolutely, that's above board, but we can't go throwing out medical diagnoses and medical information from employees to other individuals.
Right. So there's protocol is what I'm hearing.
Absolutely. So the best case scenario, though, is just ask them if you can share their medical information. Whether it's that they just have a cold, whether stress is getting the best of them. There's a lot of different reasons people are going to be getting sick in the next few days. And I assure you, stress is very high on that list.
Can I just ask a quick question here? Like, what happens if, we have, a lot of my women have contractors as opposed to solid employees? What if there are agreements with the contractors and there are contracts in place and the person either is not able to pay them or, lets them go? What can we be doing then? How do you know when is the time?
So if you are if you're the payer or you're waiting on payment?
You're the payer. So you have people who do work for you. What should we be doing? How can we be managing that?
So you got to go back to your contract. What is the termination of agreement in your contract? Sometimes it's 2 weeks. A lot of individuals at this point, it can be a conversation. So you may say, this is our contract agreement. Obviously, there's unprecedented times. I have two options at this point. I can ask for a termination of our agreement based off of our contract, or can we figure out a different solution within this time? I don't want to terminate the agreement because I know in 6 weeks, we're going to be coming on board again and getting this going. Can we put a temporary stoppage or a reduction to our contract agreement?
Reduction of service, reduction of pay.
Reduction of service, reduction of pay, withholding payment for, maybe instead of a 30-day receipt, maybe a 60-day receipt. I think at this point, and it goes with the layoffs as well, right? At this point, some individuals may say, no, don't terminate me. I'm okay for a layoff. Versus a termination, knowing places like Cineplex, right? Places like those, especially those larger organizations, the business is going to come back. And it's sometimes easier to do a layoff than it is to do a full-on termination.
Yeah.
That being said, you have to be very tricky. Layoffs are very tricky. They're not just simple processes right now. I know a lot of people are doing them, but they actually, according to Ministry of Labor, you actually have to reserve the right to do a layoff.
Right.
Otherwise, it could be considered constructive dismissal, which means it could be considered you're just terminating me.
So how do we do a layoff? What does that look like?
I wish I had a clear-cut answer because I know a lot of organizations are doing layoffs that typically would never have done layoffs previously. And I believe that they are allowing some greater grace in there, but that doesn't mean you're out of the weeds if you lay somebody off and they claim constructive dismissal. It has to be a case-by-case basis, and it's going to be a lot easier to do so with conversations with individuals,
right,
versus with just making that single-handed decision.
Right.
So that might, depending on the size of your organization, it might be a lawyer question too.
I think what I'm hearing through this is, I think our word of the day is patience and personal. And what I'm really picking up is the reminder that we're in the people business and we are dealing with people. And at the end of the day, we just have to take care of the people that are around us in the best way that we can. So, you've talked a little bit about, if one of your employees gets sick, if you have a brick and mortar, are there any other protections or resources that we could be digging into if we had more questions or?
Yeah, absolutely. So I put a few resources. So we talked about visitors and contractors. So if your business is going out to people's residential homes.
Yes.
Or if you have contractors, now my best advice right now is you lock that front door, you keep a closed environment, and you put if you can, and you put a sign on the front door that says not open for visitors. If you have, such as a laboratory, a manufacturing, something that has people within it that they can't work from home.
Yeah.
We're closed for visitors. Even if you're an office that takes vendors, we are closed for external visitors at this time.
Got it.
If you must bring in visitors outside of your core individuals who have to remain on site,
yep.
I've created a visitor checklist. So a self-declaration.
Yeah.
You can find it on essentialhr.ca/COVID-19, one word.
Great.
And you can use that if you're a residential visitor as well. So, some individuals don't have the opportunity to stop going into people's home right now. They provide essential service or they provide healthcare. And what you can use that for is screening those houses that you're going into.
Aha, that is brilliant. So
it includes questions like, have you been out of the country in 14 days? Has anyone in your household been out of the country in 14 days?
Right.
And that screener has been changed twice already, given what we're allowed to ask.
Oh, yeah.
So it's up to date on the website right now if you want to pull that. It's a Word document, so you can make it look like your own.
That's amazing. That's very generous, Laura.
And then as well, there's an FAQ for employers. And one of the things at the bottom of that is best practices for physical workspaces. So I've been collecting everything I've heard over the last week about what different organizations are doing in order to help lower the risk in their environments. It could be, wiping down anything from shipping and receiving, just having a bottle of alcohol, spraying down the mail, spraying down the boxes. It could be enacting an internal cleaning team.
Right.
So we have our cleaners that come in 3 times a week. We now have them come in 5 times a week. And we have our internal cleaning team that hits any surface at lunchtime.
Yeah.
There's just different things to help lower that risk.
Yeah.
Leaving doors open whenever possible. The elbow to hit the button to open the bathroom door. Let's just leave the bathroom door open if possible.
In between uses, right?
Yeah. So there are different things that you can do if you have a physical workspace. And my biggest suggestion is communicate with your people. Let them know what you are doing so that they can have that lowered stress as well.
Amazing. That's fantastic. You look like you're about to say something.
No.
I love it. And again, people who go to home visits. So, we've got some women in our community who do physiotherapy in the home, massage therapy in the home, who actually clean homes.
Mm-hmm.
They go, that's their whole business. And it's a phenomenal business, all of the above. And so I hear what you're saying is we just got to go people by people. Yep. This is a case-by-case situation. This is uncharted territory. And I think, for all the listeners, there's no should here. There is no should. Make up your own set of rules, what makes you comfortable and what is going to help you in the short term. And, this is a pivot time. We have to figure out what else to do.
The lady who actually, cleans our house asked for e-transfer only. Because I usually write
handling cash.
Cash.
You write checks? Lady, 2020.
So she asked for e-transfer only during this time. So she doesn't have to go cash the checks or touch money or anything like that.
Right. Those are all high transmitters. Amazing. Laura, you're a wealth of information. We're going to put in the comments the link to essentialhr.ca/COVID-19. Those are fantastic resources. Thank you for your generosity in sharing them. Do you have any parting words for people?
So the biggest part I would say is knowing what you can and can't do is changing daily. So reach out and ask the questions, because if you need to do something like if you've closed down operations for 2 weeks and you need to pay out people's vacation as a way of sustaining their employee, you can do that. If you need to use their banked emergency days, you can do that. So you have confidence in your own decisions. Reach out to somebody who knows, who can just help you figure out those small things, because the more confidence you have, the more peace you can have. And you can also provide that to your employees, because you are driving the level of comfort, the level of peace, the level of stress within the organization right now. They're looking to you to figure out how they should be reacting.
Right.
And you need to react with peace and confidence and know that you are doing your best within this time to support your employees.
Those are very strong words of wisdom, Ms. Laura. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing today. Thanks for coming on. And I hope we'll talk to you soon.
Very soon. Thanks, Sheila.
Okay, take care. Thanks, Laura. So there you have it. It's a day-by-day situation. Your business is evolving and changing minute by minute. You got to stop fighting with it. Just go with the flow. You're in the people business, so connect with the people that are around you, and that have the conversations, have the uncomfortable conversations, ask questions, come up with solutions, and don't settle. If something in your gut's not feeling right, then don't go ahead and settle. Just keep talking until there is a solution in place. You are going to survive this. This crisis will come to an end. Yeah, your business will probably look different. Yes, you're probably going to be doing things slightly differently, both in your business and in your life, but you are going to be writing your next history. So let's step in, let's show up powerfully, and I'll see you tomorrow. Have a great day.